Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you if you've been following this build. Thank you for tuning back in and seeing how things are going. Today we've got a big surprise. I've had a lot of this stuff tucked away, and I brought it out to the garage, and I'm getting close to putting all this stuff to use. So without further ado, I want to show you guys what's next for the EG K-swap build. So first thing, we'll look in this box and it should give it away. Alright, so as you see here, we got ourselves a turbo, guys. So let's pull this out. Take a look. So this is it's a 66, 62 Rev 9. It's a T3 flange V-band turbo. So through this video you'll see a full unboxing of all the other parts that I got just to go along with this build. So here it is, brand new. This was about 250 bucks. Real nice turbo. V-band on this side for 3-inch V-band. And then, like I said, it's a T3 flange. You can see here. So there's the part number. And it's a Rev 9. So I've seen a few different guys running these, some on Hondas, some on other cars, but they've done really well. That seems like a really good turbo, especially for the money. So since I'm going turbo, there's a lot of other stuff that goes along with that, and I'll just run through all that real quick. So let's start off over here. So this is gauges. We've got a wideband gauge, so wideband. This is either boost or oil pressure. Yeah, boost gauge. And then this one's oil pressure. So these are all like a black tint. I don't know if you can see very well, but it's a black tinted gauge. So these are the three gauges I'll be running in the car. Wideband or air fuel gauge, oil pressure, and then boost gauge. So that'll be nice. Over here we've got ourselves a blow-off valve. This is if you couldn't already tell from the turbo, this is going to be a budget build. So the areas that I figure I could skimp out, I skimped out. $250 turbo. This is an eBay blow-off valve, and it was like 25 bucks. So we'll see how it does. It seems to be of decent quality. If you guys are curious about any of these parts, just ask about them. I'll give you more details. And this also came with this little portion of pipe, so this will just bolt onto that. Run a couple bolts through it, and I'll have a blow-off valve. So I have turboed a car in the past. Way back in the day, I did a B20 VTEC turbo, so I've got experience with a lot of the parts, and I've just been collecting all this stuff over the last several months, and like I said, cheaped out in some areas and spent some good money in other areas. You can see here I've got one of the more expensive items. These are DW. Let's open them up. So Deechworks 2200 injectors. So these should supply plenty of power, more than enough, and so those are going to come in real handy. So 2200, you might wonder, why so much? But this car will be on E85. So what this is, this right here, it's a flex fuel sensor. It's a GM product, but this will go in the fuel return line, and it will monitor the ethanol content, and it'll adjust through the tune so I can run E85. This is a pigtail that goes into that ethanol sensor. This is another GM product. This is just to plug into that sensor, and then I'll strip it and wire it from the sensor to the K-Pro. And this whole box that I have here, this is fuel stuff. So here's the fuel pump. It's the Walbro Hellcat 525 fuel pump. And so the other couple things in here is this was a kit that had the harness connector for that fuel pump, and that's the only thing I'm able to use out of that kit. I had to buy this kit as well, and it's got the hose, which I probably could have reused the factory one, but it's got a brand new filter. You want to use this filter. It's like the OEM style. It pretty much is just the OEM filter, but you don't want to use the one that comes with the Walbro kit that's kind of this a little bit more of a square shape. It just won't pick up the fuel right, and you'll run into a lot of issues. So lastly, for fuel, we got here another Deechworks product. This is a fuel pump wiring kit. So since this fuel pump will be drawing so much more power, we need to get a little bit more power to it, and so this I'll run directly from the battery to the fuel pump, and then I'll wire up the factory power to the fuel pump. Will go to this relay, and so this 12 volt from the battery will only be active when this relay is on. But it's a fused line, and then it comes with this relay. Everything I need just to wire up that fuel pump. So that's very nice. And moving on. So that was fuel. So turbo, fuel, blow-off valve, gauges, and let's keep moving along. So here we've got some more goodies. This is, so right here we've got flywheel bolts, brand new, pressure plate bolts, and a competition clutch. And a brand new competition lightweight flywheel. So this here is a stage 4. It's a 6-puck sprung clutch. Should hold up decently to the power I plan on making. It's certainly on the street tires. So, like I said, competition clutch, stage 4, 6-puck. Moving along. All this stuff's been tucked away so long I kind of forget what's in each box. Oh, okay. I see what this is. So this is an Factory LSD. So let's see here. Kind of hard to open this with one hand. Alright, so you can see there, that's outside the box. Bunch of warranty information, some stickers, and here's the LSD. I'm going to pull this up on the workbench. Move these over. Alright, so, like I said, in Factory LSD. I've got a couple things coming in the mail for this, just to make this a little bit easier. I've got two new carrier bearings that'll go on this. So right now, if you guys have paid attention to the other videos, you'll know I'm running it's a EP3 5-speed transmission, and so it's a non-LSD. So this will convert it over to an LSD. Real nice product here. So I'll swap over my final drive and then put on my new carrier bearings, and this should be good to go. So let's continue looking here. See what else we got. Here we have wastegate. So this is a eBay wastegate. This was like a little over 50 bucks. I think it's got a 14-pound spring in it, is what they said. And so V-band here, V-band there. And I'm going to go through this with it being so cheap. If you look in here, trying to get you guys better lighting. See that burr right there? It's a little bit, it just needs gone through. It needs some of these burrs knocked off. But other than that, I mean, I think it should work all right. So my old turboed car back in the day, I had no money. I was in high school when I turboed it, and I used like a bunch of what would be considered junk parts, and you'd be surprised how some of it just still works. So put it together right, try to make sure you understand what's important, and should be all right. Moving on. Here we've got the turbo manifold. So all the gasket stuff. T3 flange gasket, some studs, and some nuts. And then here is the manifold. This is a PLM manifold for a K20 with a T3 flange and a V-band for a 44 millimeter wastegate. Sorry guys, I'm trying to juggle this camera with just one hand. Okay. So here's the manifold. Nice product. Very happy with it. Show you guys in all the openings. So Should be a good manifold. Okay, so just a couple more boxes to look in. Over here we've got ourselves a intercooler. Set this here. Alright, so this is a pretty cheap, I think it was like $100, this intercooler. So it's the same side intercooler. Feeds in, feeds out the same side. It'll just make routing the piping easy. One box I didn't bring over was the intercooler piping, but there's not much to see there. It's just a box full of piping and couplers. And this is the last box. So here we have a PLM 3-inch downpipe, and I'm not going to open all that up, but it's a 2-piece downpipe so that I can run full exhaust. Alright guys, well, it's kind of a crazy video, but you got to see a lot of unboxing and you get to see the components that will go into this build. Well, if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to follow the build, subscribe, and then if you guys have questions about any of this stuff, feel free to comment below. Alright, thanks, bye.